What does it mean to be rich? Many of us tie the idea to numbers in a bank account, but wealth is far more profound than that. It is a reflection of the abundance already present in life, the joy of being alive, the freedom to explore, and the capacity to give and receive. Yet we are often trapped by the illusion of scarcity, believing that richness is something far away, something we must chase. Today, I invite you to see richness differently, not as a destination, but as a state of being. You are about to be rich not because something external is coming, but because you are about to uncover the immense wealth that has been within you all along. Wealth is a concept often misunderstood, limited in its interpretation to material possessions and financial gains. Yet to define wealth solely in monetary terms is to overlook its profound depth and richness. True wealth extends far beyond numbers in a bank account or the size of one's home. It resides in the essence of life itself, the intangible treasures that bring meaning, joy, and fulfillment. It is the feeling of freedom to live authentically, the capacity to love and connect deeply, and the ability to explore the world and one's inner self without restraint. Wealth is as much about the quality of one's life as it is about its external markers. When we speak of being rich, what we are truly describing is a state of abundance. This abundance isn't measured by accumulation, but by perception. To feel wealthy is to recognize the plenty already present, even in the simplest aspects of life. Consider the marvel of existence itself. Every breath you take is a gift, a subtle reminder of the infinite energy sustaining you. The sunlight that warms your skin, the laughter of a friend, the stillness of a quiet morning, these are all forms of wealth often taken for granted. They do not come with price tags, yet their value is immeasurable. To redefine wealth is to challenge the illusion of scarcity, a mindset that convinces us we are never enough or do not have enough. Scarcity creates a never-ending chase, leaving us perpetually dissatisfied and fearful. It drives the belief that happiness and fulfillment are always one step away, tied to the next promotion, the next purchase, or the next milestone. But what if wealth is not something to be attained in the future? What if it is something to be realized here and now? By shifting our focus from what we lack to what we have, we can awaken to the abundance that surrounds us. True wealth is also found in the freedom to align one's life with purpose and passion. It is the liberty to spend your time meaningfully, doing what nourishes your soul. Many people, despite having material riches, feel a profound poverty in their hearts because they have traded their time, energy, and dreams for possessions that fail to bring lasting satisfaction. In contrast, there are those with modest means who radiate contentment and vitality because they live in harmony with their inner calling. This alignment with one's true self is a form of wealth that no amount of money can replicate. Another dimension of wealth lies in relationships. Genuine connection with others is among life's greatest treasures. The warmth of a kind word, the support of a loved one, the bond of a shared experience, these are riches that elevate the human spirit. In our pursuit of financial gain, we often neglect the wealth inherent in our interactions and connections. Yet at the end of our days, it is these moments of love and togetherness that we will hold most dear. Gratitude is the gateway to experiencing this broader definition of wealth. When we cultivate gratitude, we shift our perspective from deficiency to sufficiency. We begin to see the world as an abundant place, overflowing with opportunities, beauty, and kindness. Gratitude doesn't mean ignoring challenges or struggles, rather, it is a practice of acknowledging the good that coexists with the difficulties. It opens our eyes to the treasures already within our grasp, making us feel rich even in the absence of material luxuries. Redefining wealth is not about rejecting money or the benefits it brings. Instead, it is about understanding that material wealth is only one piece of a much larger puzzle. When we integrate financial stability with the richness of meaningful experiences, loving relationships, inner peace, and gratitude, we unlock a wealth that is both profound and enduring. True wealth is not something you achieve, it is something you awaken to, a realization that you are already rich in ways that truly matter. Scarcity is a concept that has shaped much of human thought, driving our behavior, decisions, and societal structures. It is the belief that there is never enough, that resources are limited, opportunities fleeting, and life a zero-sum game where one person's gain is another's loss. This perspective creates a constant undercurrent of fear and competition, convincing us that we must hoard, strive, and guard what little we have. Yet if we look closer, we might discover that scarcity, in many ways, is an illusion, a construct of the mind, rather than an inherent truth of existence. The universe, in its essence, is abundant, and so too are the possibilities available to us. The illusion of scarcity begins with our perception. From a young age, we are conditioned to focus on what is missing in our lives rather than what is present. Advertisements tell us we lack the newest gadget or the perfect body. Society teaches us that we must work harder to achieve more because there isn't enough success or wealth to go around. These messages create a mindset of deficiency, a belief that life is fundamentally inadequate unless we constantly strive to fill the gaps. But this focus on what we lack blinds us to the abundance already surrounding us. It's as if we are standing in a lush forest, yet our eyes are fixed on the one tree that isn't bearing fruit. In reality, life is teeming with abundance. Nature itself is a testament to this truth. Look at a single apple tree. One season's harvest can provide seeds enough to plant an orchard. A river doesn't flow sparingly, it rushes forward, endlessly renewing itself. The sun doesn't shine only for some, its light bathes the entire earth without discrimination. These examples remind us that the natural world operates on principles of generosity and plenty, not lack. The scarcity we perceive often comes from our inability or unwillingness to see this abundance clearly. This illusion is further reinforced by the systems we create. Economic models, for example, are often built on the idea of limited resources fostering competition and inequality. But is it truly the resources that are scarce, or is it our distribution of them? The world produces enough food to feed everyone, yet millions go hungry not because there isn't enough, but because of how we manage and allocate what we have. Scarcity is not always a fact, it is frequently a product of human choices and priorities. On a personal level, the belief in scarcity can be deeply paralyzing. It makes us fearful of taking risks, sharing what we have, or trusting others. We hesitate to follow our passions because we're afraid there won't be enough opportunities, or that we'll fail and lose what little we possess. Scarcity convinces us to live small, to cling tightly to what we know, and to view others as competitors rather than collaborators. It keeps us trapped in a mindset of survival rather than growth. The antidote to this illusion is a shift in perspective. Abundance isn't about having everything you could possibly want, it's about recognizing and valuing what you already have. When you pause to reflect, you may notice that much of what you truly need is already present. The love of a friend, the beauty of a sunset, the opportunity to learn and grow, these are riches no one can take from you. They are evidence that life itself is generous, always offering gifts if we're willing to receive them. Letting go of the belief in scarcity requires trust in yourself, in others, and in the flow of life. It's about understanding that just as nature replenishes itself, so too can opportunities, resources, and connections. When you share freely, you create space for more to come into your life. When you stop gripping tightly out of fear, your hands are open to receive. Scarcity thrives on fear, but abundance grows in gratitude and generosity. Scarcity is not about the external world, it's a reflection of our inner state. When we feel lacking within, we project that lack outward. But when we cultivate a sense of wholeness, recognizing that we are enough and have enough, the illusion begins to dissolve. The world is not a closed system of limited possibilities, it is an ever-expanding web of potential. By seeing through the illusion of scarcity, you unlock the freedom to live boldly, share generously, and trust deeply in the boundless richness of life. Richness is not a matter of material possessions or external achievements, it is a state of mind. It is a way of perceiving and engaging with a world that transcends wealth in the traditional sense. You can have millions in the bank and still feel poor, constantly chasing something you believe is missing. Conversely, you can have very little and yet feel profoundly rich, grounded in the deep appreciation of life's simple and infinite gifts. True richness is not about what you have, it is about how you think, what you value, and the perspective through which you experience the world. Richness is about presence. It is the ability to fully inhabit the moment, to see beauty in the ordinary and wonder in the mundane. Many people spend their lives waiting for a future that promises happiness once they achieve a certain goal, acquire a certain item, or reach a particular milestone. Yet this mindset keeps richness perpetually out of reach, tied to some distant horizon that seems to recede as you approach. In contrast, a person who is rich in mind knows that the present moment is where abundance resides. Every breath, every interaction, and every experience holds value when approached with mindfulness and gratitude. Gratitude, in fact, is one of the cornerstones of a rich state of mind. It transforms your perception, allowing you to see what you have rather than what you lack. When you focus on what is already good and meaningful in your life, no matter how small, you begin to recognize the abundance that surrounds you. Consider the feeling of waking up to a sunny morning, hearing the laughter of a loved one, or savoring a warm meal. These moments are treasures, but they often go unnoticed when you are consumed by thoughts of scarcity or dissatisfaction. Gratitude shifts your focus, revealing the richness inherent in your everyday experiences. Another key aspect of a rich state of mind is freedom from comparison. Much of the dissatisfaction people feel stems from measuring themselves against others. The world bombards us with images and narratives that suggest we should always be striving for more success, more possessions, more recognition. But comparison is a thief of joy. It blinds you to your own unique journey and the wealth that is already yours. A mind free from comparison is a mind that understands richness is personal, not something defined by society or other people's standards. Living richly also means embracing simplicity. It's not about having everything but about appreciating what truly matters. Often we equate richness with excess, extravagant lifestyles, luxury items, and endless options. But such excess can weigh heavily on the mind and spirit. True richness comes from clarity, from knowing what brings genuine joy and fulfillment and letting go of what does not. It's the freedom to focus on what feeds your soul rather than chasing distractions that leave you empty. A simple, meaningful life is far richer than a complicated one filled with things that don't resonate with your essence. Generosity is another hallmark of a rich state of mind. When you feel abundant within, you naturally want to share that abundance with others. This doesn't always mean giving money or possessions. It can be as simple as offering kindness, time, or encouragement. The paradox of generosity is that the more you give, the richer you feel. By contributing to others' lives, you expand your sense of connection and purpose, deepening your own experience of richness. Ultimately, richness is about alignment. It is living in harmony with your values, passions, and truths. When your actions reflect your inner self, life feels meaningful and full, no matter your material circumstances. You may not control every event or outcome, but you can control how you perceive and respond to them. A rich state of mind sees challenges as opportunities for growth, setbacks as lessons, and successes as shared moments of celebration. It's a mindset that transforms life from a series of transactions into a profound and rewarding experience. The beauty of this state of mind is that it is accessible to everyone. It does not require a specific income, background, or situation. It begins with a choice, a decision to shift your focus from what is missing to what is present, from external measures to internal values. Richness, then, is not a future achievement but a present awareness. It is recognizing that in this moment you have everything you need to feel full, free, and alive. The world may tell you otherwise, but the truth is simple richness is not something you acquire, it is something you awaken within yourself. Fear is one of the most powerful forces shaping our lives, often dictating our choices and limiting our potential. It whispers warnings of scarcity, failure, and rejection, convincing us to stay in our comfort zones, hold on tightly to what we know, and avoid risks that might disrupt our sense of security. But while fear may seem protective, it is also a prison, keeping us from experiencing the fullness of life. Letting go of fear is not about becoming fearless, but about releasing its hold on us, so we can live with freedom, courage, and authenticity. It is an essential step toward discovering the richness of life waiting beyond the walls fear creates. Fear thrives on uncertainty and the unknown. It tells us that if we step into unfamiliar territory, we risk losing control or encountering harm. Yet the truth is that life is inherently uncertain, and control is largely an illusion. We cannot predict or guarantee outcomes, no matter how carefully we plan or how tightly we cling to what feels safe. Letting go of fear means accepting this uncertainty not as something to dread, but as an integral part of life. In fact, it is within the unknown that life's greatest possibilities lie. Creativity, growth, and discovery all flourish in the space beyond what is certain and familiar. One of the most common fears is the fear of failure. This fear often stops us from pursuing our dreams, taking chances, or even expressing our true selves. It whispers, "What if you're not good enough? What if you fall short?" But failure is not the opposite of success, it is a necessary part of it. Every misstep, mistake, or setback carries lessons that help us grow stronger, wiser, and more capable. By reframing failure as a stepping stone rather than a dead end, we can begin to loosen fear's grip. Letting go of the need to be perfect or to avoid mistakes allows us to move forward with a sense of adventure and possibility. Another fear that holds many people back is the fear of judgment. We worry about what others will think, how we will be perceived, or whether we will be accepted. This fear often leads us to suppress our true selves, conform to expectations, and seek approval at the expense of authenticity. But the truth is, no matter what we do, we cannot control other people's perceptions or opinions. Letting go of this fear involves shifting our focus from external validation to internal alignment. When we live in a way that feels true to our values and aspirations, the opinions of others lose their power over us. Authenticity becomes our anchor, providing a sense of confidence and peace that no amount of approval can replicate. Fear also convinces us to cling tightly to what we have, whether it's possessions, relationships, or routines. It tells us that letting go might lead to loss or emptiness, but often the act of holding on is what keeps us stuck. Life is a flow, constantly changing and evolving, and clinging to the past or resisting change can create stagnation. Letting go of fear means trusting in life's ability to provide, even when we release what feels familiar or secure. It's about understanding that every ending makes space for a new beginning, and that growth often requires letting go. One of the most powerful tools for releasing fear is trust. This trust is not blind faith, but a deep belief in the resilience of the human spirit and the abundance of life itself. It is the understanding that challenges can be met, resources can be found, and opportunities can arise even when the path is unclear. Trust allows us to face uncertainty with courage and to see fear as a natural part of the journey rather than an insurmountable obstacle. Letting go of fear also involves being present. Fear often lies in the future, imagining worst-case scenarios and projecting outcomes that may never come to pass. When we ground ourselves in the present moment, we realize that most of the things we fear are not happening right now. The present is often manageable, even peaceful, compared to the anxiety-filled projections of the mind. Practices like mindfulness and meditation can help anchor us in the now, dissolving the power of fear by shifting our focus to what is real and immediate. Ultimately, letting go of fear is an act of liberation. It frees us to live fully, love deeply, and pursue our passions without being held back by the what-ifs. It allows us to step into our authenticity, embrace uncertainty, and trust in the flow of life. Fear will always arise, it is part of being human, but it does not have to control us. By recognizing fear for what it is, a voice trying to protect us, albeit often unnecessarily, we can acknowledge it without being governed by it. When we let go of fear, we make room for courage, curiosity, and the rich, expansive experiences that make life truly meaningful. In a world that celebrates complexity and accumulation, simplicity often seems like a radical choice. We are surrounded by messages urging us to do more, acquire more, and achieve more, as if our worth and happiness depend on how much we possess or how busy we are. Yet, paradoxically, this pursuit of more often leaves us feeling burdened and trapped. Simplicity, on the other hand, offers a path to freedom, a way of living that prioritizes clarity, meaning, and connection over chaos and excess. Embracing simplicity is not about deprivation, it is about liberation, about creating space for what truly matters and letting go of what doesn't. Simplicity begins with recognizing that not everything we desire brings value to our lives. The constant drive for more possessions, more achievements, more commitments can clutter our minds and hearts, making it harder to focus on what brings genuine joy. It is easy to confuse abundance with accumulation. But true abundance comes from a sense of peace and fulfillment, not from a surplus of things. Simplicity invites us to discern what adds value and what does not, to strip away the unnecessary and uncover the essence of a life well lived. One of the greatest freedoms simplicity offers is the release from the weight of materialism. When our lives are centered on acquiring and maintaining possessions, we often find ourselves trapped in cycles of earning, spending, and consuming. These cycles can create stress, limit our time, and distract us from experiences that bring deeper satisfaction, such as spending time with loved ones, pursuing passions, or simply enjoying moments of rest. By choosing simplicity, we shift our focus from possessions to presence, from things to experiences. We begin to see that the most valuable aspects of life cannot be bought, and in doing so, we free ourselves from the constant pressure to acquire. Simplicity also extends to how we manage our time and energy. In a culture that glorifies busyness, many people fill their schedules to the brim, believing that productivity equates to worth. But endless activity often leads to burnout, leaving little room for reflection, creativity, or connection. A simpler approach to time involves prioritizing what is truly important and letting go of obligations that do not align with our values or goals. It means saying no to unnecessary commitments so we can say yes to the things that nourish us. When we create space in our lives, we give ourselves the freedom to breathe, think, and grow. At its heart, simplicity is about alignment. It is about living in a way that reflects your true values and desires rather than being swept along by societal expectations or the demands of others. This alignment brings clarity, helping you distinguish between what is essential and what is extraneous. For some, this might mean downsizing their possessions or minimizing their commitments. For others, it might mean focusing on meaningful relationships or dedicating time to a passion or purpose. Simplicity is not a one-size-fits-all solution. It is a deeply personal practice of living authentically and intentionally. One of the profound effects of simplicity is the way it deepens our connection to the present moment. When our lives are cluttered with distractions, we often rush through our days, barely noticing the beauty and wonder around us. Simplicity slows us down, allowing us to fully experience and appreciate the here and now. It reveals the richness in ordinary moments, the taste of a meal, the sound of laughter, the stillness of a quiet evening. These moments, often overlooked in the hustle of daily life, become sources of profound joy when we embrace simplicity. Simplicity is not without challenges. It requires letting go not just of physical possessions, but also of habits, beliefs, and attachments that no longer serve us. This process can be uncomfortable, as it often involves confronting fears of scarcity or inadequacy. Yet in letting go, we discover a deeper sense of freedom. We realize that we are not defined by what we own or how much we do, but by who we are and how we show up in the world. Simplicity teaches us that less is often more, that by focusing on what truly matters, we gain a richness that excess can never provide. Ultimately, simplicity is a pathway to liberation. It frees us from the distractions and burdens that keep us from living fully. It allows us to align our lives with our deepest values, to connect more meaningfully with others, and to experience the present moment with clarity and gratitude. Simplicity is not a sacrifice, it is a gift we give to ourselves, a way of reclaiming our time, energy, and attention for the things that truly make life worth living. In choosing simplicity, we step into a life of purpose, peace, and profound freedom. Being present in the now is one of the most transformative ways to experience life. It sounds simple, yet it is something many of us struggle with. Our minds often pull us into the past, rehashing memories or regrets, or propel us into the future, planning, worrying, or hoping. Rarely do we allow ourselves to fully inhabit the present moment, the only moment we truly have. Living in the now isn't just about mindfulness, it's about reclaiming the richness and depth of life, one moment at a time. When we embrace presence, we find clarity, peace, and a profound connection to ourselves and the world around us. The present moment is unique in that it is the only reality we ever truly experience. The past exists only in our memories, and the future lies only in our imagination. Yet we often spend more time in these mental constructs than in the here and now. Dwelling on the past can anchor us in guilt, nostalgia, or unresolved pain, while fixating on the future often fills us with anxiety, anticipation, or unrealistic expectations. In contrast, the present offers us a space of freedom, a chance to let go of the burdens of what was and the uncertainties of what might be. And being present starts with awareness. It involves noticing where your attention is in any given moment. Often we operate on autopilot, going through routines without truly engaging with them. We eat meals without tasting them, have conversations without truly listening, or rush through tasks while mentally planning the next ones. Thanks for watching.